Chazan and I had a little conference. He's going to do a Heichi Kedusha, a half Amidah later, and I'm going to do a Heichi sermon. Just kidding. That would be like a half sermon. I'm just joking about time because it's a long morning. But you are all here and beautiful and patient and open. And what I want to ask first is, raise your hand if you are a convert to Judaism. So, did I make anyone uncomfortable when I asked that question? Okay, I wanted to put it out there in that way because all of you might have raised your hands. I said earlier, in a way, we've all chosen Judaism. And yet we tend to think of conversion, I mean, it is a specific process of choosing to join the Jewish people. And I also think sometimes we're like uncomfortable about asking people. You wouldn't want to call someone out or ask them, are you a convert? That's considered a rude question. And at the same time, we actually, especially today, on Shavuot, especially in light of reading from the book of Ruth, we valorize and celebrate those who choose Judaism and those who convert to Judaism. And I wanted to speak about this morning, first in terms of the convert, and then in terms of everyone, all Jewish people. Because in the book of Ruth, there's a really profound statement about what it means to join the Jewish people. And I want to give a little kavod to Rachel Goldberg-Polin, the mother of Hirsch Goldberg-Polin, because she has been teaching Torah in her grief. And it's beautiful, powerful Torah. And she's teaching Torah, I'm sure she was studying and teaching before as well. But now when she teaches, she talks about hoping that it's in the merit both of the return of the hostages, of an end to this war, and her belief that teaching Torah and us really sharing and connecting over Torah is a tikkun, is a repair in the world. And so with her in mind, she made an observation about the book of Ruth that I heard, which I think is very beautiful. And that is in the first chapter of the book of Ruth, when Ruth decides that she's going to follow her mother-in-law Naomi, she says very specifically, your people will be my people. And what Rachel Goldberg-Polin said is that this is a statement not just about joining a faith, but also of joining us in our fate. That when you join the Jewish people, you don't just sign up for a belief system, you sign up to be a part of a people. And in that way, you come to share the fate of that people. And what statement she's making, I think, goes at the very heart of something that we don't always talk about enough, which is that Judaism is more than a religion. Judaism is a people, an am. And so when we talk about joining the Jewish people, it isn't just a faith statement. It really is a transformation of one's whole identity. When you become a Jewish person, you get a Jewish name. You take on the lineage of Avraham and Sarah. We say that anybody who converts to Judaism, they too must have stood at Sinai. You get this injection of a historical memory that supposedly we all shared and all experience. And it's a really beautiful articulation of a process that is somewhat mystical. What does it mean to actually become of a people? And I want us to be thinking about that because I think all too often we talk about or think about being a Jew as if it's about Judaism, as if it's just about the religion and the belief system. And when I work with conversion candidates, something that I've found myself asking is, okay, I get it, you're excited about Judaism, but how do you feel about the Jews? I want people to be thinking that it's not just about signing up for a faith or a set of beliefs. It is signing up for a form of belonging that is countercultural, that is complex, and that really means becoming a part of something bigger than the self. We live in a very individualistic society, And Judaism is really set up to be a collectivist existence, a form of belonging that obligates you to one another, that obligates you to God. And so I like to not just teach this for people who are joining the Jewish people as converts, but I think it's also important for us to think about this as anybody who was born a Jew. What is your relationship, not just with the dimension of the religion or the spiritual practice, but also that feeling of obligation to one another as a people? When we talk about this idea that Shavuot celebrates not just those who intentionally choose to join Judaism, but rather that we all choose to be Jews in this world, I want to look at the revelation that we heard chanted this morning. That moment when the people are about to be told the Torah, and they say, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do, and then we will understand. That's the way that we articulate our experience of revelation. It's an act of faith, and it's an act of joining a fate. What will it mean to do? Who will we become when we do this thing of being the Jewish people, of receiving and living the Torah? There are many somewhat conflicting traditions surrounding that moment of revelation. Some say that we were pressured to commit to the Torah, imagining that Mount Sinai was held over us in threat, and that God actually said, are you going to accept the Torah? And we cowered in fear and said, okay, we'll do it. But there are other versions of the revelation that imagine God shopping the Torah around to all of the other nations and nobody being interested or willing but us. And in this way, we imagine how in every generation we actually have to make the choice of Torah. And the reason that there's these conflicting accounts of whether the revelation was forced or willing is because accepting the Torah is not just good. It's complicated. Just like joining a people is not just good. It's complicated. It's hard to have a family. And it's hard to multiply your family by some, what are the numbers? 15 million people? Joining the Jewish people is complex. And committing to a life of Torah is not without its challenges. And I share that this morning because what I hope is that we can feel that when we grasp hold of the Torah, when we, each generation, say, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and then we will understand, we're committing to something that is bigger than any of us as an individual. We're committing to something that we hope in the balance is going to bring meaning and purpose and even healing and repair to the world. And our model is not just one of being set apart and special, it's one of being set apart and obligated in a special way. My hope is that today, in the coming days of Shavuot, and really for the next many months, that you can be thinking about your own thing that you are choosing as Jewish people. Are you choosing to live any particular commandments? Are you choosing to live the morals and the teachings of our ancestors? What part of Torah are you holding and clinging to? Where do you want to say yes, even if you don't know where it will lead you? Chag Sameach.